Hello, my name is Tana Valentine, and I am here today with a fellow belly dancer, Vanessa, another New York City belly dancer, but like myself, transplanted from another part of the country. Vanessa, originally from Texas.
Yeah.
For the past 8 years, she has been living and working as a professional belly dancer in Egypt. And it's just, I'm very excited to hear about, her journey, essentially, because I've been living vicariously, through Facebook posts and stuff. And also, Vanessa and I share a common mentor, teacher, the amazing Gamila El-Masri here in New York. So it's kind of a funny memory for me, and I really think the last time I actually saw Vanessa and we had any lengthy conversation was at Rakasa East over 8 years ago, just before you left for Egypt.
Precisely before.
Exactly, and you did a double stick dance, and it was a sensation, and it was wonderful. And I was so excited, because I was kind of behind the scenes with you, knowing about this trip that was coming up. So what I'm interested in, I think we all are initially, is, what were your goals, your aspirations, what dreams drove you to Egypt? And because I know you to be an educated and intelligent woman, was there a game plan? What game plan did you have to achieve those goals?
Okay, well, my goal was to work there. Dr. Mo Gadawi, who was one of the master teachers that I was very lucky to work with, he essentially recommended to me a couple of years previously. He said, Vanessa, loving this dance is one thing, but you of all people really should at least go check it out, understand more about the culture, stay or don't stay, but just get in there and kind of really absorb it, and then it's going to take your dancing to another level. So I had heard that, and I decided, I better go before things in my life change and I don't do it, So I just decided I'm going to go to the festivals, I'm going to see what's happening there with the work, and if I can be lucky enough to get some work, I'll stay. I had a 6-month open-ended ticket. And I was working when I remember the day that I should have flown out of Cairo, and I had a show that night, and I remember feeling like my ticket home is not being used, I'm here, and that was a really cool thing. But you can have a game plan, but let me tell you something, when you get to Egypt, all bets are off. Any plan that you have.
Well, so initially when you went to take classes, that was the first thought, and look for work?
Yes. Yes. So the first thing was going to the festivals. I wanted to see the teachers, some of the teachers that I had been lucky enough to study with in New York, and I wanted to get a real sense of what was happening. So the first phase, I would say, was classes. The second would be to go and check out the work. And I was hoping that through the dancers and other teachers that I met that I would be led to things. And it happened actually like this. I performed there, and one of the teachers who had a production company in Cairo, his name is Gabi Shiba, he's actually from Lebanon. He's not in Cairo now, but he was there at the time, and he had a production company doing zeffas and weddings. And he said, I'd love for you to come and do some gigs, just freelance, come and learn some choreographies. We did duets. We worked, and through him, I met a lot of dancers who were in folklore dance teams, and they encouraged me to go audition for shows and other stuff, and it just led to the work that I ended up getting just a couple months after being in Cairo.
And now, unlike other dancers, just based upon what I know from vicariously following your journey, so you were kind of you had your own show, your own production company, like a multi-dancer, multi-presentation show, a company. Really.
I did. I created Vanessa Show Productions in 2009. So I got to Egypt in 2008, June, and I worked freelance in Cairo for a couple months, got a job in Luxor, which was a life changer. This job just connected me with a lot of people and gave me a real sense of being there. It was choreographed by Hassan Afifi, who was a famous choreographer. I'd actually taken classes with him in New York. So that was fantastic. And after that contract ended, I thought, what do I want to do? I had been to Sharm el-Sheikh to visit. I thought it was a fabulous place. It's a tourist resort area, a lot of foreigners there, lots of hotels. You felt a little bit more free, I would say. And so I just said, I want to try there. And I was able to start dancing on my own solo, and after some time decided, you know what, if I can provide more, then I can get more bookings in the hotels. So with the help of some wonderful people, I was able to put a group together, and we continued to work for about 6 years in Sharm el-Sheikh, and we had about 50 contracts with different hotels.
Wow, that's
4
amazing.
seasons, yeah,
that's
it was
like
great.
A book there, or a movie.
It was.
I hope you took notes. I hope you took a lot of notes.
You know, and it's funny that you mentioned Gamila, because she always told me, you know, you better keep a journal. And of course, I was too busy to keep a journal. I didn't have time to do anything. But yeah, I didn't even have time for Facebook posts. There was like 4 months. I would say, oh, I guess I better, you know, let people know I'm alive.
It's hard when you're living life to be, you know, constantly.
When you're in it, and that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, when you're in it. So now it's like, okay, wait, stop, let me take a selfie.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's very different. So in that time, it was just all about the work. We were auditioning, we were going in and just, you know, kind of taking over Sharm el-Sheikh, and probably not, you know. It probably didn't make people so happy that we were there. I'm sure we had a few haters.
You mean the other dancers?
The other managers,
okay.
and group owners, such as myself, they weren't, I'm sure they were not pleased. But, you know, we had a good reputation, we worked hard, and we were proving ourselves time and time again, and having a good work ethic, I think, is what made us so successful. You know, using what I had learned, coming from a dance background, and just, you know, really actually trying to just put that in a place where maybe it didn't belong, but saying, hey guys, you know, we're going to show up to rehearsals on time. All of our arms are going to be together. If you don't know it, you're not doing it, you know. And I was the star of the show, but guess what? I did the folklore alongside everybody. I was part of the group. Sometimes I'd even stand in the back, you know, if it looked better with the heights, you know, I wasn't concerned about those sort of things.
It wasn't just like a show, it wasn't a vanity showcase for you, it was an actual working company.
It was a folklore show, a team, it was
a
team. And so I jumped in there when I had to, you know, sew in the costumes at midnight, you know, doing what needed to be done, yeah.
That's amazing, though. I mean, what an amazing accomplishment.
Well, thank you.
I think kind of a unique one, because I haven't heard of any other dancer going over there and managing to do that.
Apparently, I'm the first American to have a production company, to start a group. There were other Americans who danced there, of course, other Americans who danced with other groups or had boys dancing alongside of them, but apparently so far. And you know, it was a lot of work. I mean, I was kind of crazy to do it. I paid out of my pocket a lot of times, especially when the economy went down. I mean, there were a lot of times where, you know, you have people depending on you. They're sending money home to their family. You can't stop even if you want to. You just find the way to make it work. So it was a commitment. It was a marriage to this work and to this group and to this company that I had created. Yeah.
And so now, for the past couple of years, my understanding from, again, following you vicariously on Facebook, you have had another change in your journey. So what's happening now? Right.
So yes, I have had a big change. I moved to Cairo, and I'm there full time. It's been about 2 years. So in the fall of 2014, I finished Sharm el-Sheikh, and I'm so lucky and glad that I did that, because now, due to the tourism, Sharm el-Sheikh, there's no work.
Oh, wow.
Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada and other places, it's very sad. But, you know, there's been some things that have happened, and it's safe there. I go there to visit, but the work has pretty much finished. The hotels are very, very low occupancy.
Now, is this what made you decide? Like, because I know this was like your family, this company. So, so like, how did that come about, that you just said, you know, I can't do this anymore? Or?
Exactly. I'll tell you, after 3 times, with the revolution, with the fights about who would be president, and then the overthrowing of Morsi, and things up and down and up and down, about 3 times I lost everything, recovered, lost, recovered, and again. And I said, now I know what I can expect. You know, at any moment, a show can be playing 5 times a week in a hotel, and then all of a sudden they have no occupancy, and they say, you know what, we're just going to cut it back to once or twice. And you still have the bills, you still have to pay. I was paying the housing, of course, the salaries, the transportation, you know, the shoes, the everything. So at the end of the day, after over 5 years of this, I can say I could check it off my list. It was successful, it was great, but at the end, you had nothing you could really depend on, because it was all based 100% on people coming to a certain area for vacation. It's not like Cairo where people are getting married, or people live there, or people are there for business.
It's like a broader market.
There's definitely it's supporting itself. So even if tourism is a little up or down, or if it's high or low season, there's still work every day. There's still, alhamdulillah, there's still, people are going to the boats to have dinner, people are going to the nightclubs. Even when they don't have a lot of money, they still spend money to entertain themselves. But if they're not in the location where you are, you're not getting the benefit of that. So I had just said, you know what, I need to make a change. And it was a very difficult decision. The great news, the silver lining of this, is that a lot of the dancers that worked with me are in Cairo. They're based there, and I call them up sometimes for gigs, or hey, I need a couple backup dancers, and I call the guys and we do a rehearsal and put it together. I still have costumes for the folklore. We've done video clips and things like that where we get everyone together. And
so it's not like totally gone.
It's
still existing a bit.
It is still existing. We still have work in several venues where I send other dancers. So the production company aspect of it is there, but having the resident team who I'm paying their housing, because nobody would go to Sharm el-Sheikh to live unless you provide housing for them. But in Cairo, the people are living there already, so it's great. They're there. They'll just pick up a show or two, and then if they're not available, you call someone else. So it's working out very well.
You have your own like in-house network.
I've got the in-house network, resources without the headache of. But it wasn't a headache. It was a wonderful thing. But at a certain point, I had to say it's time to make that leap. And it was scary, but it's paid off. And I'm really glad that that I just decided to do that.
Time to write the next chapter.
Write the next chapter.